Hey everyone, Dave Jevney here again, working on some economics homework, microeconomics, and so I'm just going to jump right into it here. The first question says that after you listen to the podcast episode um, and read the article, describe two things in the podcast episode and article that you found interesting. What I found interesting was that the majority of people had the same answer as I did. Like if I had to choose, it was like social media and e-commerce are the first to go, and I found that to be the same for myself. So I thought it was interesting that that seems to be kind of the consensus. And then another thing that I found interesting in that podcast was that email is valued so highly. And I think it was interesting for me because I am not somebody who maybe uses email that much or whatever. But I guess it makes sense to me because a lot of people use email for work and for different things, businesses. But for me personally, email would have been right there after social media and e-commerce. I would have been like the next one to go. But a lot of people valued email much, much higher. So I thought that was interesting. Um, if you had to give up two internet services that you're currently actively using but not paying for, which would they be? Mine would, yeah, like I said, kind of mine was the same answers as theirs. It would be social media first and then e-commerce. And it says, how much would you have to be paid to be willing to give up these two services? Honestly, social media, it would just be like, make me an offer. Like it'd be doing me a favor anyways to cut that stuff off. So, like they said in the podcast that the average was like $300 a year. I'd probably do it for, I don't know. I guess it makes me like weigh all these benefits and stuff that like I never really think about normally, like because I don't do social media for a lot of it is a lot of the cats, right? The cute cat videos. But I also like to be able to kind of like peek into the lives of all my longtime friends and family members. And it helps me to feel a little bit more connected to, especially like family who I don't talk to regularly necessarily. But it's nice to see like when their kids have a milestone or just, to be able to have a little bit of that connection. So at first I was thinking, I was like, oh, give me $50 and I'll $50 a year and I'll cut it out. But I think after kind of thinking about it and talking it out, I would value it a little bit more highly than the average. I would say like maybe 600 a year, and I would consider it. And then as far as e-commerce goes, I like most of the stuff. I really like Amazon Prime and things like that. But a lot of times I also like the satisfaction of being able to go to the store and buy it now and not have to wait, even if it's like next day delivery. It's like, no, I want to go and like I want it now. And so I would like, and plus I feel like if somebody was to pay me something like, $300 a year, it would almost balance out the amount of money that I could save shopping for it online. So I would say that one might have actually, they might have just switched places for me, social media and e-commerce. So I'd put e-commerce at 300 a year and social media at 600 a year. And then the final question is reflect on your personal life. Which goods or services have increased in value in your life over the past year and why? So one good or service that I've received that has much more value to me than previously in the last year is AAA. I recently, well, not like super recently, but last year, I decided to buy AAA because I had an incident where my car broke down, and then I was too cheap. I didn't want to like call a tow truck company and pay hundreds of dollars to have it towed. So I talked to like the business owner where it was broken down at, and he's like, "Yeah, you have until Monday to come get it or whatever." Well, the state patrol didn't agree. They were like, "Oh, this is on the roadway," and so they towed my car. So when it was all said and done, I ended up paying the tow charge and an impound fee and all this extra crap, and then I looked into it, and AAA is like, I don't know, $100 and something a year, and you get 3 tows within 100 miles of your house, and all this stuff. So it turned out to be something that I value very highly and that I use frequently because one of my hobbies is to like kind of like buy cars, like cheaper cars that I find on the internet, and then try to, well, right now I pretty much just drive them until they break down and then switch. But I also like I have a couple projects that I'm trying to fix up, and so AAA just is kind of like a smart, high value investment on my part when you're driving sketchy vehicles. So um, let's see. And then it says, have you paid more for these goods or services? And now that's what I love about AAA. It's super reasonably priced and it's just a great like backup fallback plan. And what is the market like for these goods or services? I don't know. I think maybe I should have looked into that a little bit, but I would guess that, there's always a percentage with this many automobiles on the road. There's always going to be like that small percentage of people that either are weird like me and want to drive sketchy cars, or that just, there's just the randomness of it that somebody's going to have a breakdown or a flat tire or whatever. So it seems like AAA would be something that's in high demand, and the price is super reasonable. So I'm sure that the market for it is good. And AAA has been around for a long, long time, and other companies offer similar roadside services and stuff. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's what I got for the discussion post. Look forward to seeing your guys' posts and replies and whatnot. So, cheers.